But yeah, I'm Rodrigo Nuñ𝖺. I'm one of the co-founders of MesoReefDAO, and I will share you a little bit of what have we been doing this year. We are a recent DAO, about 11 months of creation, and we are doing some synergies with local NGOs, initiatives here in the Mesoamerican Reef region. So yeah, I should start. Oh, sorry. I will tell you a story about what's the situation of the reefs globally. So we know that reefs right now have some global threats. These are the main actors and relationships that usually play an effect of local and global factors along typical tropical coastal areas, involving these ecosystems in the Anthropocene. The Anthropocene is the era of humans, basically. We have impacted planet in many ways, positively and negatively. So as we can see in this scheme, there are many global factors, like cyclones, like sea temperature, like ocean acidification. These factors usually affect locally reefs, structurally speaking, with bleaching, with lack of growth, with bioerosion, dissolution, and recruitment of these corals. And these corals are the foundation of these ecosystems. So we have the socio-ecological component in the right side that usually involve lives and property, businesses, and livelihood in nutrition. And this usually livelihood and nutrition is quite directly with fisheries, is quite dependent on that. Businesses in tourism and recreation, and lives and property, in shoreline protection. So these are the plethora of branches of science right now that many people are trying to, many scientists uh, have been identified these kind of potential actions that we as scientists and citizen scientists, we could mitigate all these factors, anthropic factors. We can see, reef community and structural restoration that is quite popular these days. Fisheries management, coastal zone management, pollution reduction. These are part of the solutions, the kit of solutions and mitigation that we have these days. So, in the context of the Mesoamerican Reef, I really love this report card. This one was created by the Healthy Reefs Initiative uh, a year ago. Right now, we are working on the one of this year, and as you can see, uh, many reefs are quite in a poor or critical sorry, or critical situation, So, can you hear me? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, the region has been facing significant challenges, to negative synergies, including coral bleaching this year, particularly coastal development, um, overfishing practices, and the emergence of diseases like stony coral tissue one loss disease that is there. It's a disease that impact reefs in terms of function and structure in many ways since 2019. So, as you can see, this index tell us that the reef in this area, in this region, is the reefs in the region are quite impacted and are in bad shape, if you want to see it that way. So, yeah, we have been exploring decentralized science. That is why we decided to create this initiative, and we could mitigate many traditional aspects of science itself, and we have been working on how can we create some tools in terms of this situation. Everyone knows the narrative of decentralized science. So, in terms of autonomous and independent research communities, fast and decentralized funding for science and research, open science methodologies, verifiable and replicable science. There are plethora of options that we would love to explore. So yeah, basically these are our highlights. I will try to be quite synthetic. So as you can see, our narrative is to be be a DAO or an entity that regenerate how the perspectives in terms of coral reef conservation actions have been developed since decades in the region. So we decentralize approaches like the ones that Web3 offers us. So we have supported like five, six actions in terms of coral reef restoration programs. In And yeah, so this initiative was founded in 2023 in the Yucatan Peninsula. It emerged after my graduation from the master's program in marine biology at Coral Reef Ecosystem Ecology Laboratory at Simvestab, Unidad Merida. So, I specialize in functional ecology and ecological restoration. And as a blockchain and Web3 enthusiast who have observed this space of the DeSci movement since a couple of years ago. So I decided to create and to involve my lab teammates and some colleagues uh, to create this proposal, to the necessity and curiosity to experiment with DeSci itself and to get them in the technology. So as I said before, we had just support some projects of the lab and some projects of related with initiatives like Grupo Xcaret and other initiatives with Web of Change that is involved in the Verostar Hotel Group chain, is like the sustainable component of that hotel group. And actually, we have some members in the Healthy Reef Initiative and the Coral Reef Alliance. They have been support us in terms of advisor and some in some workshops related to the situation right now with the bleaching events on this area. So yeah, in terms of crowdfunding, we have just crowdfunding 4K with Gitcoin grants and some decentralized mechanisms. We have been supported by Greenpeace Mexico and Greenpeace Network, and we have just funded by the component of the climate solution by Shell with part of those funding. So yeah, we have been quite excited and quite observant of the space and how it evolves. So our main component is to this is our the general framework of the DAO itself. We must remember that the DAOs at the beginning are quite chaotic and usually lag of many problems. At least in this region, we have faced the digital divide situation with many stakeholders. So that's why it's a DeSci DAO at the beginning. Uh, to get more involvement. And we have been trying to partner with Greenpeace Mexico eventually to get on board to vulnerable communities in the region to create some actions of onboarding and doing some citizen science with them and get involved with this kind of technology, and with incentivization, not in terms just financially, but with power and impact. So the component aspect is like the analog framework that we have been focusing to create the digital framework that could be the one of Refi itself. So for that, we need some decentralized science, and that's it's our main focus for now. But probably we want probably this initiative will evolve, and we will have many guilds like the ones of Bankless. So yeah, it will be quite interesting to see how it evolves. So this is our main framework. This framework is one of Brown. A year ago, he published this. And it's quite interesting because in every aspect of this framework, in assessment, implementation, analyzing, and adapting some data, and in sharing, we have been identify some interesting key points or tools that we could facilitate in every step of this framework. So we just adapt this model, and we're trying we'll eventually will gradually implement it in our main areas of the DAO. So yeah, so basically it's like a disrupt every step of this situation. Even if we have some regulation and other aspects, we could eventually adapt to many frameworks regionally speaking. So it will be quite interesting to explore. So we already have written some proposals for Bio XYZ to put some tokenomics on our DAO and create not only a token but a certain mechanism of impact. It could be a soul bound, like many other DAOs have been implemented, or something else. We actually have had a pitch with Shell to see how can we mitigate, many aspects of in terms of climate solutions and alternatives, in terms of how can we trace some, I don't know, biodiversity in terms of, sorry, in terms adapting evolution in terms of these ecosystems. This could be this, basically will be a multidisciplinary approach or program to restore and protect the Gulf of Mexican, the southern Gulf of Mexico reefs and the Mesoamerican reef, because we have identified a region that has some guilds in terms of thermotolerance in corals, and we really want to create a biobank or a banking laboratory equipped with the state of the art sequencing tools, and this facility, it will be dedicated to study coral genomics in terms of conservation, physiology, and resilient traits, and eventually create a diverse diversification in certain coral strains. You know, so we made the proposal with the coral research and program, development accelerator program worldwide. So yeah, I think that probably could be it will be only the two proposals that could integrate the Web3 component. We are planning in this big facility put, a coral and fish nursery area, micropropagation zone of corals, a disease and bleaching research unit, and the most important thing, a DeSci Web3 collaboration hub that eventually will boost or aim to develop Web3 open source decentralized platform, basically a digital DeSci hub, for conservation. So yeah, we are working on that. I think that we are quite busy today, but yeah, I think that we are working here to create some workshops and in some aspects of divulgation, at least for now, because we must remember that we are researchers and we part of our time usually dedicate to this uh, digital divide mitigation, you want to see it that way. So we have been exploring in terms of this other aspect that we or a question or a message to all of us in terms of DeSci. We have seen many tokenomics in many DAOs, and those are quite interesting in many ways. But what do you think are the best tokenomics for DeSci biological conservation initiatives? We have seen that approach in many DAOs in terms of financial tokenomics, but I think, and I put this tweet of Deepa, of natural incentives, token incentive. Eventually, we believe that genuine DAOs, the genuine impact DAOs, usually depends of how engaged since the beginning uh, the community itself. So we think that we could disrupt or create some other mechanisms, not only financial tokenomics, to solve this problem, or situation. So I wanted to discuss that approach with many of you, but you can send us a message or enter to our Discord and put that question or in my in the panel or something. I think that that's all for us. Sorry for. Hey, other aspect that I wanted to talk about. We are now on the Retro PGF number 3 on the Optimist, and we only need one ballot to to be on that program. So that will be interesting if we create some synergies and we share our tweet on our main account of Twitter to do some awareness of that. But yeah, thank you so much for the invitation and glad to be here on the Bankless movement.